Hello everyone, in this video we, Håkan, Lars, Noah, will be discussing the moral controversy of when video game developer Cyan Worlds credited AI, but not its actors in the game The Firmament. We will be using three ethical theories: utilitarianism, egoism, and exploitation. Enjoy. Cyan Worlds didn't disclose to their Kickstart funders that they were using artificial intelligence in the production process. When they eventually launched the game, they had credited AI-assisted content, but not real voice actors. They've later stated that the voice performances in Firmament were voiced 100% of the time by a talented member of our development team who elected not to be credited by name. The ethical challenges we find present in this case are two teleological theories and one meta-ethical theory: egoism, utilitarianism, and exploitation. First, egoism. Frederick G. Reamer defines egoism as such: when faced with conflicting duties, people should maximize their own good and enhance their self-interest. It makes sense for the developers in this scenario to further their own career interests, like Reamer mentions in the Routledge Handbook of Social Work Ethics and Values. It could be argued that it is in their best interest to not disclose their use of AI, as the surrounding controversy could potentially put off investors. Second, Frederick G. Reamer defines utilitarianism holds that an action is right if it promotes the maximum good. In this case, we can argue that, from a utilitarian point of view, they did the right thing, not addressing the usage of AI because of the concerns around AI would have potentially scared away funders and customers. So they maximized the amount of good for their funders and themselves by not being transparent. Third, we have exploitation. This is the theory we find most fitting for explaining the anger that has been directed towards Cyan Worlds. The criticism towards Cyan largely stems from their lack of transparency regarding the use of AI in the development process, and that they didn't disclose the reason for not mentioning their voice actor in the credits. Some of the backers were disappointed at Cyan Worlds, according to GameDeveloper.com. According to Stanford Encyclopedia, we could relate this to the unfairness of the transaction. They state that the unfairness is a feature of what is agreed to, rather than how the agreement is reached. Call this substantive unfairness. The unfairness in this case is that Cyan World didn't disclose that they would use AI tools during development, leading to people feeling misled or deceived by their lack of transparency and could hence be classified as exploitation. Moral solution: transparency. Informing supporters about the use of generative AI during game development. Cyan argued that generative AI wasn't available until the middle of the development process. By publishing information of the AI used to the public, they could have adjusted their game development process to satisfy more of their supporters and customer base. By having a transparent dialogue with the customers, they might have been able to avoid many of the consequences they've faced, because it seems like a lot of the backlash they've received comes from people not being aware that AI was used during the funding period, hence making them feel betrayed or exploited by the company, as well as not mentioning the reason for not listing their human VA when the accreditation lists first were released. We believe that transparency is the key moral solution here. In this case, this would be utilitarianism. By being transparent during the development, they could have increased happiness for a larger amount of the player base. Looking at this with some virtue ethics, Cyan alone could have benefited by being consistently transparent about their usage of AI. Creating less backlash and critique towards them, the results could have been better reviews and more sales. Thank you for listening.